No president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%.
Well, folks, that's our president, President Joe Biden, Lion Joe, telling a huge whopper there. He said that the inflation rate when he took over was 9%, right? 9%. He repeated it, 9%. In fact, Lion Joe, the inflation rate January 21, which is the first month you took over, the inflation rate was 1.4%. Trump delivered an inflation rate of 1.4%. It gradually went up. June of 21, 5.2%. December of 21, 8%. Finally, May of 2022, it reached 9.1%. Yeah, Joe, it was at 9%, but not when you took over. 17 months later, it hit 9.1%. It gradually came down. December of 2022 went down to 8%. June of 23 went down to 6.5%. December of 23, it went down to 6%. And then finally this last month, it's down to 3.5%. This last month being March. That's the last time they have it calculated. Now what happened during that period? What I did, I said, all right, let's say a family buys groceries. I don't know what a family buys. Let's say it's $100 every 2 weeks. That might be low, but anyway, let's use that number. That's $200 a month. That's $2,400 a year. So let's just say that's where we start out at $2,400 a year. That increases, compounds. So at December 22, 2 years later, it is then 3,017. At the end of the period, March 24th, it's 3,807. That is a 58% increase in the cost of groceries since he took office. You may wonder about these numbers. It's what I calculated, but I thought I'd double check, so I used AI. Gave them the inflation numbers and said, tell me what it is. They came up with the same number. 58% increase in groceries. So Joe, I'm sorry, you were wrong about inflation.
And I've never failed. I've created over 15 million jobs since I've been president. 15 million.
15 million jobs. That is wonderful, Joe. 15 million jobs. Except here's the problem with that. You didn't create those. He's saying that he created 15 million jobs. He took over in 21, right? In 2020 was when COVID hit us the worst. Our economy lost 20 million jobs. 20 million jobs. It started easing, opening up finally when Joe took over, not because of him, but finally the blue states who held on the longest, these Democrat governors. Don't forget, Trump didn't shut anything down. It was all governors. The president has no authority to shut down the businesses. That's a state function. So the big states, which are all blue states, they finally started opening up in 21. And gradually, a lot of those jobs came back. Joe's taking credit for that. He's saying, I created more jobs than any president in history. How stupid. Unfortunately, a lot of Democrats will believe that. They don't get it. I'm hoping I can get to some of you out there, get to the facts. He did not create, he might have created 100,000 jobs, maybe 200,000. Let's give him that. Not 12 or 15 million. With different days, he uses different numbers. He did not. So that's why number two.
He started off, he lost, other than Herbert Hoover, he's the only other president who lost more jobs than created in his 4-year term.
Again, folks, another lie by him, by Joe. The first 3 years prior to COVID, Trump didn't lose any jobs. But when COVID hit, yes, the nation lost 20 million jobs, 20 million due to COVID. As I said before, mostly the blue states shut down. That's where all the jobs were that were lost. I mean, you could name Michigan, Massachusetts, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, California, all the high population states. They're the ones that lost the most jobs. They also kept it shut down longer than they needed to. It was a power grab by these governors. The red states opened up quicker. As a matter of fact, Florida pretty much stayed open. But all these jobs were lost, 20 million jobs. Now Biden's saying no one ever lost as many jobs as Trump did. He's forgetting all about COVID on purpose so he can tell a lie, and he feels his constituents are dumb enough that they're going to accept that. And there's a lot of them out there that are dumb enough, they're going to accept it. Another lie, Joe.
He wants to give more significant tax cuts to the super wealthy. You know, we got 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average federal tax is? 8.3%. He talks about if I want to raise it to 25%, that would raise $40 billion, $400 billion over 10 years. We can further reduce the deficit, which I've been able to reduce. I mean, it's just a completely different perspective on how we should proceed.
Okay. This one's a little harder to explain. I think Joe actually believes what he's saying here because it's a little bit complicated. He's saying that there are 1,000 billionaires. There's actually 757 billionaires, the last count I could find. But all right, we'll just say he rounded up. No big deal. He's saying they are paying 8%. Here's why that's a lie. He's throwing in addition to their gains, their profits and their income, he's throwing unrealized gains into that. Unrealized gains. Just so you know, for those of you who may not know what unrealized gains are, let's say you bought a house 20 years ago and you paid $500,000 for it. Today it's worth $1 million. But you're not going to sell it even though you made $500,000 on that house. You're keeping it. So that's an unrealized gain. You got the gain, but you're not realizing it. So that's what an unrealized gain is. The same is true of stocks. When people buy stocks and they go up and up and up, hopefully, and they don't sell the stock, that's an unrealized gain. But they sell them, they pay tax on the gains. Capital gains tax, they call that. So Joe is saying, all right, if they were to throw in the unrealized gains here, and then they calculate what their actual tax rate is against unrealized gains, it comes out to 8%. Totally untrue. They are now paying 25%, not 8%. It's just a huge lie. And any of you want to put a pencil to paper, you can figure this out. Sorry, Joe, another lie. It's driving me crazy with all these lies. Well, we'll get into other things next time. This one bugged me, and I wanted to talk to you about it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. As I said, it doesn't cost you anything. It just assures you you'll be notified. If you open up YouTube, you'll be notified that I have a new podcast. I will try to inform most of you through Facebook and others, but I won't cover everybody. Okay, thank you. Bye.